This is a gaming PC that I bought on eBay. Let's open it up together, see what I got, and we'll determine if it was worth my money. Little loosey-goosey. Grab my small unboxing sword. In this video, I take this basic looking PC, transform it into this, but I come across a few small issues, so stay tuned. Bubble wrap. Okay. The seller packaged it nicely, so that's good. We got here a little power cord. That thing's like thick and long and black. Let's lift the computer up. There it is. Don't need that. All right, here is our computer. I'm not seeing any dents, so it arrived in good condition, but you can see it is just a basic office computer like the one your grandma uses for Facebook or whatever. Here's everything that was in the box, power cord and the computer. So I found this just doing a fresh scroll on eBay. I searched up gaming PCs, sorted by used, and this was one of the first listings that I saw. In my opinion, the ad was pretty juicy, especially for the times when prices are higher than Snoop Dogg. But does it work? I got it all set up, give her a flip, find the spot. Oh yeah, that's it. Oh. I don't even hear it turning on. I mean, my AC is on, which is louder than a PS4, but that thing turned on quick and gave a signal right away. This cost me right under $580 for an office PC. Trust me, I didn't buy it for its looks. It has a good personality, you know. It's on the inside is what counts. Would you look at that? We made it to Windows, and they have a GPU-Z installed and superposition benchmark, which is kind of good to see. It's better than seeing CC Cleaner. Here's the ad on eBay. Let's see if all the specs match up. The most important thing is the GPU. There is RTX 3060. And if you look right here, it is the 12 gigabyte version. Very nice. Hop into Task Manager now. CPU is i5-8400. Want to say that's 6 cores and only 6 threads. I think it's just a true 6 core. RAM, 32 gigs. Ooh, that's like gold, baby. It's reading 2666 megahertz, but I will take this apart and we'll definitely check all that out. Because like right here, we do have a 256 gigabyte SATA SSD and a 1 terabyte hard drive. I think you and I can agree that it's not the worst deal, but it's not the best deal either. It's like fair value considering the times. However, I do want to run some benchmarks and some games on it exactly how it showed up out of the box without me touching it at all. We'll check temperatures, FPS, and just see how stable it is. Then I'm gonna strip it down to its bones and see if we can't do an upgrade, make it look more gamery. And for those who like flipping PCs for profit, yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna try to do with this Dell XPS. I started with the superposition benchmark since it was installed. I ran it at 1080p high. That revealed our little GPU was running quite hot with temps in the mid 80s. So this will definitely need to be taken apart and cleaned out. The fans were kind of loud too, and after the full run, it scored 10,850. Now for some games, but keep in mind all of them are installed on the hard drive, and you'll see under system requirements for certain titles, it'll literally say requires an SSD. It should run with a hard drive, just not ideal, so it'll be cool to kind of see the performance gain we get later on after I swap that out. In Call of Duty Warzone, I tested at 1080p with DLSS enabled, high textures and details, and then everything else on low. Without a hard drive, I want to say it's just slower at loading textures and whatnot, but one thing you probably notice is the CPU temperature. That is hotter than I would like, and it could certainly start to thermal throttle. It was more than playable. The average FPS was 92. I think it would be a different story if the operating system was also on the hard drive. I loaded up Cyberpunk, and this game actually says it requires an SSD. Now it took a little longer to load the game compared to when I tested it on an SSD, but once it made it past the initial loading stage, I couldn't even tell it was on a hard drive. I just ran the benchmarking tool at 1080p Ultra, and it was smooth with an average FPS of 74. I think games stating they require an SSD is honestly a scam, unless there's a game I don't know about that actually won't run without it. And when Fortnite, the very first game, is usually the worst performance because it has to load textures, and with the hard drive, I was expecting to load into the game super late to the point where the battle bus kicks you off and you just load in. But I only remember that happening on a super budget system with DDR3. I got absolutely smoked, but it was smoother than I expected for the first game. Gameplay now is after the first match, so everything was already loaded in. I tested with performance mode at 1080p, all low settings except the view distance was at far. I noticed some minor stutters here and there, but it averaged 180 FPS with a 1% low of 81, and as you can see, this is what I call playable. That's enough of running these parts with high temps. Let's see if we can't fix that. We're switching up the view. Let's take apart this office PC, give it the care it needs, and completely transform it. Start to see some dust in the power supply. There's our 1TB hard drive, Seagate Barracuda. Pretty good drive, actually. Oh, wow. You guys see that? I wonder if the power supply thing right here was hitting right on top of that PCB, man. I mean, we already tested it, so we know it works, but wow, that's not looking good. And now we can see what power supply we have. It is a Great Wall 80 plus gold unit. Looks like it's 500 watts. Has 480 watts on the 12 volt, so it's really a 480 watt power supply, but I think this will get the job done. It is semi-modular. We're missing some of the extra cables, but we have two 8-pin PCIe connectors for the GPU, a single 8-pin for the CPU, and then 24-pin motherboard and any SATA power cable. So I mean, we basically have everything we need. We don't need any more Molex or that. So nice little Arctic fan. This was just zip tied in the front of the case. It's actually the only fan in the whole computer other than, you know, like the CPU fan. Arctic P12 Pro though, pretty nice quality. GPU removed. I want to say this is just an OEM model, probably straight from the Dell XPS itself. I don't think this was dropped in as an upgrade. Oh wow, look at that. See that thermal pad there? That thing is covered in dirt. Guess there was another fan. Motherboard removed. I know it does not look aesthetically pleasing with the green PCB, but the reason I bought this Dell XPS is because the motherboard, they don't use any proprietary connections. You can see it's a normal 24 pin, 4 pin for the CPU. You even have your HD audio down here. Front panel connectors, it's wired up exactly like a normal one. You can even see it there, hardware or HD LED, power switch, etc. And this is proprietary a little bit. That's their card reader, which is up front, but you don't need it to get the computer up and running. Only thing we don't get is the IO shield. In some of the older XPS models, they do come out, but this one is just built straight into the actual case. I was curious about the RAM configuration from the get-go, and it looks like we have two separate kits matching up for 32 gigs. And yeah, both kits are at 2666, so one's not at 3000. It's not just default into the slowest speed. They all do match up. Jeez, I can't I was about to say, I can't seem to get any of these screws to unloosen, and then that one just pops loose. These ones are being a pain though. Oh, come on buddy, put some elbow grease into it. And we all saw, oh my goodness, we all saw the terrible CPU temperatures in game. That is the reason, and this stupid stock cooler, but mainly the thermal paste is the culprit of the bad temperatures. Oh my gosh. It's not even completely dry either, like it's sticking to my finger. It's just, there's no paste. Now let's work on this GPU and fix the hot temperatures on this. Yeah, that paste is pretty dry too. Just for some extra precaution. I was thinking I was gonna have to replace the pads, but I mean, none of them tore, and they're all still in good condition. They're just dirty, so I'm gonna try my best to just kind of wipe them up around with some alcohol. And look at that. We'll take that shroud off and clean that up too. Time for the new paste. I really did this all backwards, but now let's go and dust this out as well as the power supply. Let's rebuild it now. We're going with this new case. The very first upgrade is going to be this tower cooler. This will be way better than that stock cooler. With new paste and this cooler, I'm expecting like a 15-degree drop on the CPU. This is kind of what I was afraid of. The backplate on the motherboard here, the screw holes are too small to support the little standoffs from the cooler. But I'm pretty sure I can remove this. Not ideal, but we will make it work. We need a different size bit. It's removed. Take the one that came with the cooler. The reason I said it's not ideal, well, see the CPU? Now I can't reattach this because it screwed into the original backplate. But once the cooler's on, it'll hold it in place. If you're doing this at home though, just be really careful because you can certainly bend all the pins in the motherboard because it's not really secure. So you just gotta take your time and it'll be good. Fresh thermal paste. There it is, new cooler installed. A little more tedious than I thought it was gonna be, but we managed. And you can maybe see the next upgrade is right here, a 1TB M.2 SSD. I'm gonna be swapping out the 256GB drive as well as a 1TB hard drive and just doing a single drive. It's also changing from a SATA to an NVMe, so it'll be a lot quicker. Time for the new case. Motherboard should drop right in just like a normal size M.ATX, and it lines exactly up with all the standoffs. This is why I love these Dell XPS systems. It's because it's just like building with normal computer parts other than, you know, the green PCB. But everything is non-proprietary, it just works. If you're wondering how I got the case for so cheap, well, it was on sale during Amazon Prime Day. Basically done, just have to install the GPU now. Now you might be thinking the same thing I am, is the parts kind of stick out in the case, like the green color, and they're just small. It doesn't really fill up the case, but just bear with me. I'm gonna finish it up and it'll look good, I promise you. To complete the build, I added this RGB cable for the GPU, which was pretty cheap, and I also had to add this SATA RGB controller, and I valued the old SSD and hard drive combo at $10 since I'm not using them. I was saying earlier that these Dell XPS systems are so easy to case swap, which is true, but I actually learned something during this video, and that is newer Dell XPS systems do have proprietary firmware and BIOS settings. For instance, it kept saying the CPU fan wasn't detected on startup, even though it was plugged in and operational. I had to reinstall the original CPU fan and have that plugged into the CPU fan header. After that, it said it had a power button failure, so I cut the old front panel connector out of the Dell XPS, took out the wires for the power button, and plugged in the power cables from the new case. My thinking is Dell needs the whole module plugged in so it can properly communicate back to the BIOS, saying that everything is functional. Unfortunately, it still popped an error on every boot up, but you just have to click continue and it'll boot to Windows. Kinda unfortunate, but not the end of the world. I learned something new, so that counts for something. At least the build turned out pretty good. You might be thinking, how are you gonna make money on this, bro? Tell you the truth, I'm not looking for a fat profit. I bought it as a project PC, so as long as I make my money back, then any extra is like a cold pillow at the end of the night. I installed Windows 11 like usual and got back into testing. The games are all on the SSD, so that might give a tiny boost in performance. The biggest change is the temperature on the CPU and GPU. I retested Warzone with the same settings as before. You can see the results. If that's not a big improvement, then I don't know what is. Temps dropped under 80C for both the CPU and GPU. I didn't see a big change in the FPS, but at least I know the parts are running a lot better. And actually the average FPS was lower this time around, and I'm not sure why. I even retested it 4 times and it was lower all times, so I'm not sure what's up with that. In Fortnite, I kept the same performance mode settings with far view distance and everything else on low. I didn't really notice a massive boost in the loading times. Sure, it was faster than having it on a hard drive, but nothing to write home about. I saw the same benefits, lower temps, and this time the average FPS was better at 186 compared to 180. Yes, it is a small change, but a win is a win, and that's due to the SSD or lower temps. Could be a mix of both though. In Cyberpunk, running the in-game benchmark with the same Ultra preset, you'll notice the temps are drastically better again, as well as a slightly better average FPS at 78 compared to 74. I'm not sure why we saw the lower numbers in Warzone. So do you think transforming this office PC was worth it? My total cost is on screen, a little more than I'd like, but not terrible considering we have 32 gigabytes of RAM and a 1TB SSD. It wasn't hard to do the case upgrade either, but it's not necessary. It's more of a preference than anything. The only truly valuable changes we did were the SSD upgrade and reapplying fresh thermal paste on the CPU and GPU. If you have an office PC, you can easily add in a GPU and just give it some TLC like I did. My only complaint about the computer is that you have to press continue on boot up to even load into Windows, which is why I'm buying another motherboard to swap it out for. This PC will be for sale on my website at elijahslab.shop, so whoever buys it will get a nice performing computer with a standard non-OEM motherboard plus a 1-year warranty. That's it for me. Smash a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.